Smart harvesting matches every author of a publication to a researcher in your Esploro system. If no match to an existing researcher is found, it will create a new non-affiliated researcher record. Occasionally, there is a matching error, and a duplicate researcher record is created even though there is an existing record for that researcher, who may be either affiliated or non-affiliated. A duplicate non-affiliated researcher can be individually merged from the Manage Researchers page by selecting Move All Assets and Grants. However, duplicate researchers can also be found and merged in bulk, as we will demonstrate. We recommend that you run the potentially duplicate researcher report on an ongoing basis to check for researchers that may be duplicate. The report is based on the researcher name. Then you can use that report to merge any duplicates in bulk. First, let's check for duplicate researchers. In the Esploro Research Hub, open the Researchers menu and select Potentially Duplicate Researchers Report. For now, we just want to run the report, not merge the records, so we select Export Report. Next, we select which type of researchers to check. Check Affiliated Researchers will look for duplicates by comparing each affiliated researcher to non-affiliated researchers. Check Non-affiliated Researchers will compare non-affiliated researchers with other non-affiliated researchers. Check Both will run both comparisons one after the other. We recommend starting with this first option, Check Affiliated Researchers, then merging any duplicates you find, and only then running the report again to check non-affiliated researchers. This may resolve some duplicates that would otherwise show up in both reports. For mode, you can see the default is to check all new researchers, which means new researchers since this report was last run. This mode makes sense if you run the report on an ongoing basis to ensure you check only newly added researchers. Other options are to check all researchers added after a specified date, or just all researchers. You may also choose to filter by affiliation, for example, if you want to check one department at a time. When ready, click Submit. When the job is finished, click the History tab. Open the report by selecting the report name, or by selecting Report from the Actions menu. The report shows the number of duplicates found. If there are duplicates, select Click to Download Report, which will list the potential duplicates in a CSV file. Here's what that report looks like. The potential duplicates are grouped together with a group ID number. There are blank rows between groups. This column shows the name of each researcher. You'll notice that the names in each group are similar or even identical. That's why they've been identified as potential duplicates. The affiliation type column shows whether the researcher is affiliated, non-affiliated, or previously affiliated. Since this report was run on affiliated researchers, there will be an affiliated researcher in each group. We will use the information in this report to decide whether to merge each of the unaffiliated researchers in this group with the affiliated researcher. Each column is labeled. Let's look in particular at the subjects, these are from the researcher record, and the asset information, which comes from the assets associated with each researcher. This will show keywords and abstracts taken from the assets, when available, and if not, then the title. For example, in this group, we see the affiliated researcher studies dermatology, and this non-affiliated researcher's asset information contains keywords relevant to dermatology. We determine that these are in fact the same researcher, and the records should be merged. We note this in the last column, Merge Status, which will be used for the bulk merge job. Here we input K for the record we wish to keep. Whenever there is an affiliated researcher, that must be the record that we keep. Input M for records we wish to merge into the record that we designated as keep. Leaving this column blank will make no change to that researcher. When we are finished marking the records to merge and keep, save the file. Then go back to the page where we created the report. This time, select Bulk Merge. Upload the file. Then click Submit. When that job finishes running, click the History tab to check it. Check the report to see if any groups were merged. You will also be able to see if there were any invalid groups. There are some errors that would make a group invalid and prevent the merging of researchers. For example, if you marked more than one researcher in a group with K, or if a researcher appears in two different groups in the report and you marked one as K and one as M. You will see information about these invalidations so you can understand what to change and then run the job again as needed. You can also see how many groups were successfully merged. Here, we can see that this duplicate researcher has been merged. That's how to bulk merge duplicate researchers.